Because a few minutes ago we had a comment of those who see conflict between Christianity and Ekpe, and I laughed. Let's not make the comments for brother and a pastor. The Mori represents a new generation of leaders, traditional leaders, who see no conflict between Ekpe and Christianity. I know him to be a born-again Christian. For quite some time we worship together in the Revelation ministry. So that's why it's tough to say, well, maybe we need to correct this point. But many people don't see the conflict. And for me, the pastors who see the conflict don't understand either Ekpe or Christianity. So that's for another day. I wanted to ask a senior colleague, this man, every time I see him, I feel challenged. But I know he started struggling for Nigeria the year I was born. That's how far back it goes. His first effort on the streets of Lagos occurred in 1942, the year that I was born. You can see how long has been the struggle. I came here and saw him, and I know he's full member of the Ekpe Society around. And I thought he told me he would like to say something briefly, because once we launch, we don't really want to take speeches again. I therefore invite Professor Isco Otoyo to make the comment.
Let me first of all greet the Muri. Because it is people like himself in the past that could speak with authority about it. Personally, I came here in double capacity. I came here as an Ekpe man, and I came here as a scholar. Let me say that this man's Dr. Neil, his research, if this research were known to the world, it would do a tremendous lot for both knowledge and humanity. I repeat, if Dr. Miller's research were known to the world, that is to the world of knowledge and belief, it would do a tremendous lot for both knowledge and humanity. I have been a moral supporter of Dr. Miller's research. And I keep telling him, look, my dear, it is my scholarly interest. I am a science enthusiast. I told him there is a definition of science by philosophers of science. The roots of it are two. Number one, factual research. Number two, reasoning, not dogma. I am happy about certain statements made in that book and made here. If a man really is a Christian, but how many of us are? If a man really is a Christian, I don't see any conflict between the beliefs of Christians and what Abel was trying to do. What Abel was trying to do is precisely what the first disciples of Jesus Christ did. Those people were actually communists. Justice, sharing as brothers and sisters was their emphasis. You all know the story of Ananias. I repeat, I don't see much of the conflict. Professor Oya is right. There's really no conflict. There is misunderstanding, both on the Christian side and the side of people who are not Christians. There is a lot of misunderstanding, and I have helped to discuss some of this misunderstanding of Dr. Miller. First, I want to say that there has to be a distinction. Everybody has to, those who read English, have to distinguish between Ekpe, which the English call Ekpe society, and Ekpe Ipaukut society. At a certain point, he didn't understand the distinction between the two. I told him that Ekpe is not a secret society. Unless, of course, the Spaniards drove it underground in America. It is not a secret society. But Ekpe Ipaukut is the most secret of secret societies. You don't even know who is a member of it. You don't know what they do. If you don't know the members, how can you know how you don't know how they initiate themselves? It's a completely secret society. It is unfortunate that both of them bear something Ekpe in them. They are quite distinct. Another correction I would like to make is that some of the early travelers, including the Christian missionaries, believed that the people they met here did not know God. That is not true. That is not true. I've pointed out to him that Abasi is not an English name. It's not a Spanish name. It's not a Portuguese name. It's not the name of American whites, the Yankees. Abasi means God. To the Efik, to the other people, the Video people, all the people around here, Abasi is God. They didn't teach us to recognize the supremacy of God. All of us know that Abasi is a maker of Ekondo, which people bastardize by calling Ekondo here. It is Ekondo, which means the universe, the stars, the sun, the moon, air, water, everything in the universe was made by God. And that was recognized before the Christians came here. The only difference is that our people did not believe that you could reach God directly. You make out the whole economy, you couldn't reach him directly. How could you reach him? Through the ancestors. Ancestors who had love and honesty, not just any ancestors. And your people carved the images of those ancestors who had love and honesty, devotion to the people. They carved them. And anthropologists who are experts in art say that that carving has a lot of dignity. People believed that it was through their ancestors that they could reach Abasi. Whereas the Christians claim that it is only through one ancestor called Jesus. You see, and they are bastardizing what these ancestors is Jesus. I personally, I don't like what most people who call themselves Christians do. All this stealing, all this violence, all this lying, nobody is honest anymore, and yet everybody is a Christian. Look, all that couldn't happen when Ekwe was Ekwe. I will stand up. When Ekwe was Ekwe, all that you are seeing, all this stealing, all this fraud, all this nonsense could not happen. You cannot do it in Ekwe. Where Ekwe is supreme, you cannot do it. One thing I must tell you, I said I was here partly as a scientist, as a scholar. In all my reading, I have read about many cultures. Chinese culture, Indian culture, a lot of other Asian cultures, European cultures, American culture. That is my field. When I say my field, I mean the whole of social science. The science of human society. They call me economist foul. I'm also a historian of human society. I am sociologist, anthropologist, whatever they call it. You see, I have been. The thing I want to tell you is this. In all my reading, I have not seen any association or institution that is capable of justice, the kind of maintenance of peace and justice in what they call privileged society that Ekwe represents. I want to say, with the authority of a scientist, that I have read about the cultures. What I'm talking about is the maintenance of discipline, authority, and justice in society. No institution has been invented that can equal Ekwe. Look at today. The police cannot maintain order in America or in Western Europe. They cannot deal with the crimes there. They can't deal with it. Why? Because of their individualism and greed. Individualism
selfishness, greed, grabbing.
Couldn't do it when it was.
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Please, can we do it more better than this?
It's more than a workshop. That is our daddy telling us his own past experiences. Wonderfully made. You are honestly a prof of a high repute. I admire you, sir. Congratulations.
Ekpe is a society that governed our environment when it was Ekpe. Let me give you one or two examples. If you went into the wrong farm and the owner went to the village head on traditional road like our brother seated here, and he went and put a bed there, he never had a mobile bed. He will not go in. I think it still happens to today. Once they say a mobile bed in one or who from whatever, you respect it. So I think that's the kind of discipline that Professor Spirit was talking about. If you committed a crime, you stole or whatever, and they tried to find out who did it, and you were lying and everybody was hiding, the moment they say, when they say you're going to carry out the rights of India from Ekpe society, nobody will tell you, you run and go knock. That was it. It was as simple as that. So I think some of us can relate to what's being said about Ekpe. And for me, in order to help propagate the various studies that are being carried out, I decided, reluctantly, I've been invited before, but you know, my governor says I'm a modest person, perhaps so, but I believe that people should be rewarded for work properly done and recognized. I don't just believe in taking titles. However, I went to Yamba and now I'm over my head as well. Because I think it's important to promote the work that's being done. And Dr. Miller, you may not know it, you're carrying yourself in the role of Mary Slater. You're blazing a trail. The poor Scottish lady, I think she was Scottish, when she came, braved the mosquitoes, the spring waters, and all the kinds of dangers that the early Europeans faced, and came here and did a wonderful work. I see you in that mode. So I think you're doing an excellent job.
Thank you.
And I hope you continue.
Thank you.
We collaborate with Dr. Miller in the center because I believe that if you don't know your origin, if you don't know your antecedents, where you're coming from, you will never be able to chart a path to your future. Let me give you another simple example. You know the compass points north, south, east, west. If you start from the south and you say, I want to go west, where do you go? You turn right. Am I correct? You go like that. Sorry, west is left. Go right. Okay. Now, if you're starting from the north, but you didn't realize it and you think you're starting from the south, if you go left, what are you doing? You're going east. You'll miss your mark completely. So I think it is important for people to understand and appreciate their antecedents. I remember growing up as a child before my parents took me away at a young age. There are 7 things that our forebears as Efik people used to do that, gave us pride to be called Efik. A lot of those have disappeared. I went into the British Parliament about 2 months ago, and on one of the lobbies, they have a table like this, and they have a register. The register contains the names of all the war dead from the time Britain started fighting wars. And they have somebody that goes there every morning at 7 o'clock to turn the page. They turn a page every day. Tomorrow, the man goes back to the next page. The day after, he goes back to the next page. And it goes like that from the beginning to the end. 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And when it gets to the end of the register, we start again from page 1. They are that meticulous. And what do we have? We've lost all the essence that we had as a people. You don't even know who you are anymore. Really. So, occasions like this, for me, are extremely important. And I will try my little best to make sure that I support this, that I support the center. It's under construction, and we expect that we'll have a library to take books like this. We'll have an e-library as well. So we will try and make it. So thanking Dr. Miller again, because I don't know whether he said it to all of you here, but I'm aware that he has completed the necessary documentations and applied to UNESCO to make EFEC a World Intangible Heritage. I think that is putting EFEC on a world map. If it was a secret society, it would not be there. It's putting it up there. In fact, I recall that the first book I bought from Foyles in 1965 or thereabouts was offered by an Indian. And in that book, he was able to outline all the various grades of EFEC. Those who did music about EFEC, an Indian effectively knew how to come EFEC. That's the truth. That's the first time I saw a non-EFEC person or someone out of our environment here that did so much work, and he knew all the grace of the thing. So I think that we are doing an excellent job. I will take 10 books. I don't know how much the cover price is, but I will take 10 books for the library at the center for 250,000 naira. I'm glad that the people in the museum are here. So, we are going to be working closely with you because before Professor Oyo died, he mentioned how much of his work is stored in this museum. We will try as much as possible. I've discussed with Mayo Adedio as well. We'll try as much as possible to try and move that work forward. We will not let it die. Thank you very much indeed. God bless all of you.